this little video is about a Yanmar steering column. We have a customer, Trevor, he has a Yanmar, and the steering fell apart. The ball bearings on the bottom broke, the recirculating ball races on the nut fell apart, and it just gouged all the nut completely. And the shaft, it's not in that good a condition really, but it's $230 I believe for a new one, and Trevor didn't have the budget for that, so and that's just fine. Even though it's a Yanmar steering column, a lot of the Japanese tractors they use similar parts or common parts, and his little tractor is it's an import tractor. It's a grey tractor they call it, and as such the main dealers in the Kubota factories and that, or the dealerships, don't want to talk to you because they didn't sell the tractor. It's a grey import. They don't want to support it with parts. But on Trevor's tractor, we did a bit of research and we found a few parts to fit. Now, the main nut that engages the gear on your shaft, on your Pitman, well, it's a sector really, it's exactly the same as a Kubota one. Right number of teeth, everything's just fine, and it's a Sparex part, a Sparex number S70583 steering shaft nut, and it's, I wonder if you can see that. No, it's hard to see. But anyway, it says steering shaft nut without balls and tubes, fits most compact tractors, and a compact tractor is the smaller stuff. Then Sparex also does a kit that supplies all the balls to suit the nut and the little recirculating ball shield. So, pardon me, the kit number for that is 70582. And anyway, this thing had given this fella a bit of drama, and he said to me, "Can you put that thing back together for me?" He says, he had a wild time with it. So I've agreed to do that. So I'll do a little bit of filming. It won't take long, and we'll just show you what to do. It's not hard. Yeah, just keep poking those balls around. All right, I'll get back to you in a minute. Well, this is your steering shaft. This is down in the bottom of your steering box. The other end that you can't see, that's what your steering wheel goes on. So this nut, it sits on here, engages with another gear, and as the shaft goes up and down, it moves and the shaft goes back and forth, and that turns your steering. So what I usually like to do is just put a little bit of grease down the nut, and that just stops everything happening so fast. You can slide balls around. It doesn't matter which way this goes on, because the thread, it's like a nut. You can take a nut and put it on one way or another. So what you start to do is you just support it a little bit. And you just start dropping the balls in and give them a wiggle around a bit. And they'll find their own way. You know this side's full when they start coming up the other side. And with the thread, these slide in there, and the balls, they complete the loop up through here, then down around and through the nut, then up through here again. And that's why they call it recirculating ball. You just keep going round and round, round and round. So I'll just put some more in. It doesn't matter which side you put them in. You know it's full when you push balls in one side and it comes up the other. There'll be no gap in it then, there just can't be. A lot of steering boxes work like this. A lot of the older type, the power steering ones, are hydrostatic units, are a complete different story, but if it's your old Armstrong hydraulic steering, this is more than likely what it is. Another point to note is that when the nut's turned in the or the groove is put in the nut, there's actually a groove for balls in between these two. You make sure there's none in there. There's no need for that. It just does two separate loops. So just thought that might be worth pointing out. I've just set this bracket here to show you that the balls, recirculating balls, means that the balls, it's just a constant loop that acts as a nut, as a thread, but inside the top piece here, it's just full of balls and it goes round and round. Now, you can't just slide this other piece in there because of the balls. Most of the time it catches on here, so you have to make sure you have the right number of balls in there and put the two halves together. Put the two halves like that together, full of balls, then slide it in as a unit. It turns out that this kit for Trevor, for his particular job, hasn't got enough balls in it. So we're going to have to find a few more, looks like probably 5mm metric balls. So I don't think I've got any at home, but anyway, we'll have a look. If we have, we'll pop her in, and if not, it'll be Monday. Right, we had enough balls just to put one loop in, so I'll try and show you that. The shaft turns inside there. We have to watch when we're doing it, if you can see. I'll see if I can line up. See, those balls want to go into that little groove where we don't want them. So we just have to keep an eye on that. But if we put we'd have to put two in. You know, that's the principle behind the whole thing. Well, we went and found some more balls, and I've got one race in. The next one, once you're full here, and you're full down there, be very careful bumping those in. If you push those out of shape with your hammer, your steering won't be very nice. There's a little clamp here that just holds the tracks in, and in the kit it has a small spring washer. That's good enough. There's no pressure on it really. The spring washer should stop it from coming out, from undoing. So that's a done job. So as you turn your steering wheel now, the nut goes down to go one way, goes up the other. Now sometimes it's possible for the balls to keep coming and come out here. So what we'll do with Trevor, we're probably not too bad because at the end of the spiral here, I'll try and get you in there. The end of the spiral is finished. So, but what we'll do, we'll put a couple of cable ties, one at each end, to stop the nut from going too far and jamming or getting into trouble, and they should be right to take it home and pop it in the tractor, which is something they're happy to do themselves. Okay, that's the job done. The nuts, the screws have been done up here. They're done up tight. They have a spring washer underneath them. They won't go anywhere. I actually tried to move the shaft right down. It can't go because the ball race actually comes to an end. It's not open-ended here. Goes up the other way. Look, it's not too bad. It's a little bit rough. And it's a little bit rough because they didn't want to put a new shaft in it. And without a new shaft and a couple of little marks where the balls actually go on this worm here, it will be a bit chunky, but everyone has a different budget to work with, so it won't last as long as a new shaft would have, but I think it'll be quite serviceable. Well, there you go, that's the steering done. Not a big job. It can be a bit fiddly, yeah. I can understand why people don't want to do it. But anyway, for the Japanese steering, that's probably going to be a wrap. The Sparex kit with the balls in it didn't have enough balls for this particular one. I don't know why. I didn't count them before I started because I normally would, but I didn't have the old ones to count. You had to say if you took 30 out, you put 30 back in. And because they had disintegrated in the steering, so I'll get another kit up and I'll count them, and I might do a bit of dummy run if I can find another shaft to use, and see. But Sparex are pretty good. I can't imagine them short shipping it. They would have had it right, I'm sure. It's just yeah, with this particular one here, we needed a few more, so I'll look into that and see why. But anyway, job done. We'll catch you later, eh?